Yeah, not gonna happen. I mean, I don't care what you do. If you only do it once a week, then you're not gonna have a lot of success at it. I mean, it's just that's not the way things work. You have to. I think majority of things are a feel or a habit or a routine.
Yeah.
Like you have to have that consistency of doing it. So then it becomes. The base becomes natural, almost like you can do it in your sleep. But then you can start adding those fine tuning and those extra things to it.
I've always thought that great shooters almost have a little guilt. Like if they can't go out, maybe guess what? It's snowing outside. The gym's locked up at the school,
Right.
and you're in a snowstorm, and you're still saying, God, I didn't shoot today.
I hear you. It's like for me, it was like being in the gym. It's like, oh, I didn't get my workout in today.
Yeah.
Like I didn't get to the gym. Like I feel like you do. You feel like almost like
Those are good players.
I do. I believe it. I believe
Yeah.
that you. I mean, you do. You have to put in the work, and it's not. And then there's also the separation of. I went to the gym. But there's a lot of people that say I went to the gym, but what did you do at the gym?
Yeah.
So then there's a lot of those that maybe spend time in the gym, maybe spend 2 hours, but I'm not exactly sure what you did for 2 hours.
All right. So before we talk about mechanics, let's talk about reps. Okay? Because people always think maybe I'm not a big rep guy. I love reps because reps are part of the equation. You see people that go out and they'll shoot for 4 or 5 hours or 3 hours, but they don't do anything.
Yeah, I'm not I think there's like a progression, I guess. Of course, do you need to warm up when you get in the gym?
Of course.
By all means. So whether you're starting in, whether you start 15 footers, whether you just start set shots, just to get your arm, get a feel for the shot.
How long does it take you to warm up?
It depends. Like back in the day, it was a little bit, a little faster because when you're a kid, everything warms up a little faster. But you may just do like 5 spots or even 7 spots, 10 makes even that you get your body loose for 15 footers. But then I may do off the dribble like 1 dribble pull-ups, just real simple. And then you might back out to do 3 balls. So I think there is that nice base of just let me get my shot, my feel before I start.
10, 15 minutes possibly.
Right. And then so you can get just everything kind of, I guess you center it again. Like you're like, all right, let me just get my shot going before you start moving and pivoting and everything.
So have you ever seen a really good shooter just get the ball and just start shooting it and they not warm up?
Not really, no. No.
Because we get that with kids all the time. And teens and they never can shoot the ball.
And everybody kind of has a routine.
Yeah.
I've been a few years out, but some people start really low. Some people do bank shots on both sides, like on the block. Some people stand right in front and work on their form and then back themselves out. Like everybody's got kind of a little quirky their own thing, but it's usually just then kind of branch out and get a little further.
Now, once after you do that, you're going to be going off the dribble?
Yeah, most likely it's 1 dribble just to get the legs moving a little bit. So it's like 1 dribble, 2 dribbles, whatever it is, to the left or right to pull up, and then starting to get your body a little looser. And then also you may do like off of down picks, like squaring up and shooting. So then you're kind of rolling into it and pivoting into the shot. So, and it depends on what you want to work at. You may cross over and pretend like you're coming off a down pick, getting more, running into it.
It really helps to work with somebody, to have a passer, am I right?
It does. I mean, by all means, you can get a nice workout on a gun or a machine if that's all you have. I mean, but you can find ways to be creative and challenge yourself to make things more game-like rather than just getting reps. But sometimes that's all you need is just reps.
Now, are you afraid to go up to a teammate and say, hey, you rebound for me and I rebound for you?
No. I mean, I think you need to because there's no other way to do it.
Right.
But not everywhere you go, you have a ton of coaches that, one for each or managers or anything. So, yeah, you have to figure out, hopefully a teammate will want to reciprocate and you'll be like, yeah, I got you. Let's do this. Let's make 10 at this spot or let's do, So, yeah, I think that's the only way you do it to get reps in either before or after practice is grab somebody.
We work with a lot of girls and they're always afraid that they might get rejected. Like somebody will say no. And
they may.
And they may, but just go on to the next person.
Yeah. So it's not a big deal, but that's the only way is to if you want to get something that's a decent workout, you need somebody, either rebounder or you need a machine.
Yeah.
If you're just doing it yourself, by all means, yes, you're getting shots up, but you're not doing it at a speed that's probably going to challenge you. Or
it's not game-like, am I right?
Right. You're not working on something that's going to maybe transition over into game.
All right, so let's talk about, you were talking about you're a feel.
Yeah, I'm a field shooter. I never, over my years, we were talking about, I'm not one that says I need to get this many shots up a day.
Because I'll get people that will say, how many shots do I get up? And I'm like, I don't know. I mean,
I'm not a big believer in that. I think it's a comfort level. I think it's where you feel good that you're like you nailed it, or I'm feeling good. For me, it was some days I just need to get shots up and maybe 50 at a spot. I maybe want to work on my 3-ball. Maybe I want to work off the dribble. Like I'm not squaring up. Well, I want to work on my pull up jumpers or my off of down picks. For me, it's honestly it was a feel. Like you would get shots up, but it would never be like I have to hit this number. So.
All right, let's talk about mechanics because we were talking about it before, okay? And you kind of don't, you're kind of in that Steph Curry, you're a little bit, you kind of know how you shoot, and you kind of, you haven't studied it as much as maybe even you want it,
No, I don't, I feel like I know, but I also know that I never totally looked up broke down my shot. You know what you teach people, you know what people have told you, but then in the heat of a game, your body or
you're a turn shooter.
So you ultimately do whatever is like that natural shot, so it is kind of funny because sometimes you're like I don't really know exactly what I do, but then you ultimately feel like you have a gist of kind of the basics.
What we've done is we've done a lot of research with on the women's game, and it's kind of how Diana shoots. I mean, she turns and Maya shoots and Elena shoots. Do they know how they shoot?
A good question. I bet you I wouldn't put it past that Maya, maybe Deladon know, just because I think the film breakdown, maybe even personal trainers, things like that are a little bit more in the mix now. So they may have seen a little bit.
So they're
more.
The new crop coming up.
They may have a little more breakdown because there's just more people involved and it's a bigger business now. So they may. Diana possibly, but I think she's just been rolling with it and doing it so well for so long. I don't know if it's. I think she's probably more of a feel. I think people kind of. I'm not saying leave her alone, but I mean she does do it well, and I think she's probably her hardest critic. So she understands what she needs. So I don't know. I think you have probably a few that may look at it, but I think the majority probably aren't really breaking down the pieces of it.
So you're a turn shooter, but you're also what we call a sweep and sway, and that might be a new term to you, but your feet kind of come forward. The biggest key for you is you get your shoulders back, which probably gives you more arc, and it's not a fadeaway. It's just you're just kind of coming forward into your shot.
Yeah, and you can feel that as a shooter because you understanding like whether it's defense or whatever, but it's also like I gotta have my room. I don't want to get. For me, it's like I don't want to be in your space. I want to be able to control it, and that's where. You want to bend and accelerate, get your bounce to you and then be able to kind of do what you need to do. Right.
It's interesting. Now, one of the things that I believe with great shooters is they have a lot of support from their family. And did your dad rebound for you?
Yeah, he did. When I was growing up, he taught me how to do my left-hand layups and right-hand layups. But yeah, he was there like throughout all the formative years of high school, biddy basketball, and then I've also been blessed to have really good coaches even through high school that spent a lot of time, and then AAU coaches that were willing to be there and spend time and get shots up. So, but yeah, so my dad was definitely, and then I have two brothers, so we were always kind of in the mix, playing basketball and any other sports.
Yeah, we've kind of noticed that, especially shooters, maybe they weren't a shooter at the time, but they grew up to be shooters, is that the parents do a lot of rebounding for them.
Yeah, it's kind of, never would have thought that, but you would know better. But yeah, my dad was definitely an integral piece of kind of laying the fundamentals of even just the form, because he played high school basketball. Nothing major, but even just watched enough games to understand, like, where you need to have the ball, whatnot. So like it was definitely something that was, helped. When he started, you might as well do it right. So he's helping you do it.